completely skunked on snakes, we decided to take a look down the road, and look what I spotted in the bushes here. Ooh, look at that! So, just left my buddy James's place. That's the Brick and Barrel in Ho Chi Minh, and now I'm at the Western bus terminal, which you can see in the background. And I'm filming on a new phone. Moreover, I'm here in the middle of the night at the bus station because we're herping again. And here we go, looking for our bus. Oh, it's got beds. It looks pretty good. Holy crap. Oh, gotta put my bags away. The light is coming up, but we have reached the sea and we've moved into a minivan now. All right, we have arrived at the pier and we've met up with Lozy again. Hello. He's back. We got Fung here. This guy didn't tell me his name. What's your name?
Hi.
Hi. Okay. And we're about to get on the boat. I'm so tired, but I got a couple hours to push through now and then we can sleep. And here we are. We have arrived. This is just Asia in a nutshell right here. So we pulled up into this hotel and they took us to our rooms. This is my room, looks all fine and dandy. You might be wondering, what the fuck is that noise? It's a freaking construction site in here. It's a literal construction site. They're destroying the building that they're putting us in. What the cockroach man's paws? I'm bringing that one back. Yes. Oh, despite the ruckus, I actually managed to get like 5 hours sleep, maybe. I was very in and out, but somehow I was tired enough to sleep through this. So let's go. So, what was the point of all that chaotic traveling? To make it here to Hon Son Island, where we're going to be looking for, of course, the endemic and likely very, very, very threatened, probably critically endangered Hon Son Island pit viper. I figured while I was here in the south of Vietnam, I'd want to get out for one little bit of herping, and this is by far the most unique special species endemic to this region. So we're going to get out and search for it. We're going to start in the daytime because we've only got one afternoon and one night here on the island. I know, all that traveling, like 10 hours traveling for just one night, but still, we're going to get out. We all just kind of woke up, so excuse the subsentience for a moment, but I'm sure we'll wake up and let's just go see what we can cook up. So we're going to leave the beach behind, head inland. You see I've got the little silly Vietnamese bike helmet on, and I'm not sure exactly where we're going. We'll see. Oh, somehow I've swapped onto a local's bike. Interesting. Just while driving up the island, we actually found one that's dead on the road next to a Parius as well. Trying not to show too much of the gory parts, but that's a Chungsungensis right there. That's our first sign of one. Welcome to Hon Son. We just parked our bikes and we're getting out in the field. This area is like full of these absolutely giant rocks everywhere. The whole landscape just strewn with rocks. We're up in the hills, and actually this area is so incredibly far south. It's like as far south as like Suratani in southern Thailand. Oh, look at this huge centipede in this rock crevice. Big Scolopendra subspinates. Well, there's our first snake. It is a very familiar face. I don't know how well you guys can see in there. Let me jump on the 5x zoom, crank this up. There you go. A big brown Ahatila prasina just hanging out in the bushes there. Looking very still, trying to do its best vine impression. It's very good actually. Unfortunately for the snake, I just saw it move. All right, let's get a look at this then. I know you guys are probably thinking, it's a brown vine snake, it must be small. Not at all. Hold on, come out of here you. Okay, I got it in a much better position now. And you can see, first time ever showing a large adult size Ahatila on this channel, which is brown in color. Obviously we've shown a million Ahatila prasina, but this one's color scheme, totally different from any adult we've seen before. Even the head pattern, look at that. I'm actually quite enamored by seeing these different morphs. I've even seen some white ones when we were in North Vietnam, but they were too high up to catch. But this one, surprisingly for a big adult, was just hunting down in some rock crevices low to the ground. Very happy to see that. No luck looking for the viper thus far. It was always going to be difficult. I've seen some geckos, Draco. No more snakes since the Batan's Press though. Interestingly enough, I found a one-eyed silver rana here, meaning that I was able to go right up to it super close and it hasn't hopped away into the stream because, well, it can't see. But as you can see, it's got an eye on the other side, and let's see what happens when I go around. Somebody wants some food? Please, sir, can I have some more? Night has fallen quickly while we were eating, so now it's time to get out and do some searching at night, hoping for some more luck. So we just went back to the spot we searched earlier, and we spent like almost 2 hours here early, and we searched everywhere around here. And tonight, just seconds after dark, 2 minutes into walking, there's our first Trimeresurus honsonensis just parked on the edge of the wall. Where it actually came from, I have no idea, but I think I saw it just move, or maybe that was a shadow. I don't know, I wasn't looking at my phone screen for a second there. Let's get some brighter light and take a look at this from a distance here. I got the 5x zoom on this new phone so I can get really close from far away. But when we zoom out, you can see it there amongst this kind of human disturbed habitat. But that's our first one. Hopefully it won't be the last, but let's take a closer look. And there you have it, guys. Going in very slowly so as not to disturb it. Probably one of the best ways or worst ways to approach a snake if you don't want it to move is by lurching towards it. They hate sudden quick movements towards them, but I came down very slowly here and we can get a great look up close at this stunning endemic pit viper. I never realized how vibrant orange the eye is. The other guys told me this is quite an atypical pattern. Usually the pattern is quite different, but the coloration with the pale and dark browns is quite typical, and you can see the head there, very broad. And it's really, really incredible that these inhabit such a tiny island and none of the surrounding islands. But their population seems to be doing well despite many, many conservation concerns. And it's a great sign that we can come out and find one in our first 2 minutes of walking at night. Of course, we walk for 2 hours in the daytime. But I actually think I'm probably just going to leave this one in situ, and maybe we'll come back later if we don't see any others, but we're going to keep moving, see if we can find some in the jungle, more morphs, we'll see. I got my camera out to photograph this, but before I could even move towards it, Losey said he found another, which is again ridiculous because we searched this area so much. Oh, look.
I step away.
Wow, this one's so dark. Bigger as well. Are you okay?
Yeah, I see.
You almost step on it.
Yeah.
Okay. This one's a lot more flighty than the other one. I guess it was because Losey almost stepped on it. He stepped right over it and then just saw it when it moved. But here we have our second Trimeresurus honsonensis, guys, and things have kicked off early. Honestly, given that we failed to turn up any in the daytime, I wasn't expecting so many to be found in such a short space of time. I wasn't expecting us to find them so quickly, but I guess they were just tucked really deep in burrows in the daytime, really deep in holes and crevices that we couldn't see inside of. And now we see them all over the place, and hopefully there's going to be a few more around. Losey was telling me that actually he finds them mostly around these kind of human areas. But you guys can hear, and you saw the water in the last clip, there's a stream in the background. So this is probably an area which has a much higher concentration. But these guys look really cool. I love the way this viper looks. Really, really nice. Look at this guy. And not small at all. I'm just trying to give you guys a size comparison here. It's always so hard for me to show. But yeah, not a small viper actually. I was expecting them to be very dinky, but the first two were both very decent sized. So yeah, I like that. Let's keep moving. Searching around the exact same area, we got some sheds that we also somehow didn't see in the daytime. So we can't even use the excuse that they were in hiding then. We're guessing it's some kind of rat snake, probably T.S. chorus. It's not a honsonensis, but next snake of the night is another vine snake, this time a much paler one. Still kind of a shade of greyish brown, some brown tints on the top. But similar size to the last one, adult size, and in similar habitat too, although this one's coiled up here to go to sleep. A beautiful blue bird here in this bush. One that hasn't been eaten yet. Look at that, stunning. All right, now we're actually going to start hiking in the jungle again, considering the first 45 minutes of the night was spent just around where we parked the bikes. But let's see what we can turn up. Already some really cool stuff on the board here. Just found another female Chungsungensis. This one's in the bushes here. Looks like we've arrived at a good spot after a while of hiking and not seeing anything other than a couple geckos which kept disappearing. We're not going to touch this one though because it's identical to the one we just photographed before, but very nice, even larger than the one we photographed before actually. This is what we mean by these more common around like human areas. So walking through the forest for ages, didn't see any, come to this like abandoned hut area and in situ ambushing next to the spade and all these bottles. Beautiful little male with yellowish tints there. Definitely the smallest one we've seen so far. Let's get a zoom in on that. Beautiful. So just a few seconds after that female, right as we reach this little refuge in the forest, which has a bit of water around it, like some pool, which kind of aggregated water, suddenly these guys are everywhere. It is the start of dry season, so it's no surprise that they're very like congregated around water sources, but they seem to be more congregated around human areas than water sources. Amazing. Well, we finally got up to this building, which within it has a pond, and there's a dead snake here, a really big one. I have no idea what. It was huge once. But what we've got is, in Losie's hands, we've got a big female Trimeresurus honsonensis with a black eye. We'll show you that later. Around the pond, unsurprisingly, another one totally unbothered by our presence. And last but not least, a very, very dangerous chair. You do not want to sit here because there is a beautiful yellow colored male with bright orange eyes coiled up right on like the perfect point of the chair, whereby if you were to sit down, your back would go against this and you'd immediately be bitten in the back by this pit viper. Fortunately, it's not a particularly toxic species. It causes a lot of pain and swelling. Maybe if you got bitten in your finger, it might cause some very mild necrosis, but for the most part, I think you'd be okay. My friend got bitten by one of these in captivity, and he said he could just, sleep it off over the course of a few days, and it was okay. But yeah, the yellows aren't coming out super well here against this kind of yellowish texture, but this is definitely the nicest individual we've seen so far. What a beauty. And I love how like hard to disturb these are. I don't know if these ones here are used to people milling around, because I know people come up here in the daytime, but they're all so damn like placid. Like, look at this one. You can just walk over here, just shove the camera in its face, like, hello, anyone home? Nope, way too busy fixated on trying to get a meal here. This is a nice paler colored female, this one. They're very, very distinctive. I didn't realize how distinctive the sexual dimorphism is of these ones. Like, the females are so thick and typically have this darker color. This one's crazy dark though. Let's take a look at these eyes if it's possible. All right, we put the one that Losie was holding down on this rock momentarily. Let me see how long I can keep it here. And you can see what he meant by it having the black eye. Apparently quite a cool trait. The eye has been super variable so far from what I've seen. We've seen ones with the kind of bright orange eye. We've seen ones with a sort of creamish, silvery eye. And here, lastly, this big, very, very dark female with a very, very dark head. Definitely a decent sized viper as well. These vipers are so funny, I swear. I moved this one from that chair to here so I could take some better pictures. And I looked away when it did something else, just left it here, and it just coiled right into like an ambush position again. They just like, as soon as you stop touching them, they're just like, oh, back to business. So we've been sheltering. So while we were taking pictures there, it started raining. So we've been sheltering from the rain for quite a while. And now we've just decided to walk back to the bikes anyway and hope that it stops. That might truncate our plans to go to another spot, but we'll see. Oh, it's getting worse. God. None of us have rain jackets. The rain eased off, and as we were driving to our newest and last spot from the bike, I spotted this soggy boy. This is the palest colored one we've seen so far. Not quite being done justice because it's against a very pale rock, but I'm sure you can see from this angle how remarkably pale it is on the side. Much more whitish. You know, the colors, the patterning and sort of frequency and intensity of blacks is very similar to the one we were just looking at back at the little like wooden hut area. But this one's just got less yellows, more cream, and something's annoying its face because look how it's like vibrating. That's cool, man. We're gonna leave this one in situ, but great to notch another one. Let's see how many more we can find before we call it a night. Just got off the bikes at our spot. There's one of these geckos. There's been a lot of these endemic Certodactylus bobbing around. I haven't taken my camera out for many, but I will for this one. I have for this one. Sunbeam steak. Sunbeam just disappeared. Oh. It's gone.
Oh.
Here's our first Honsonensis at this spot. I think that's number 9 for the night right now. I'd expect a couple more to come because we're going to explore this area a bit more. But that's another male. Nice pale coloration, but not really any yellows. Alright guys, I have literally no idea if I even vlogged it or not, but literally the second we found that last Honsonensis, it started to rain. So we went back and then it just downpoured. So we just chilled, had some food and wrapped up. We got what we came here for. It was an incredibly long journey and it's going to be a very long way back, but it was worth it because we got what we came for. And just like that, it's the next day and we're rolling out of here. So another 10-hour journey coming up to get back to Saigon. But it was worth it. You know, we had a good time. You can see the awesome island in the background here. And I just realized I'm filming on my broken phone. What the PC rats? I feel that tropical heat and humidity once again. Oh, I almost dropped my phone. Oh. Long travel over, but it's okay. I always say that 12 hours of stress-free travel is infinitely better than 2 hours of stressful travel. And aside from a few very minor truncations along the way, this was a pretty all right journey. I'm very comfortable with traveling. I always put my AirPods in, just zone out for hours. And you're always moving between places so often on these kind of Southeast Asia dotting around routes that you're never in one place for too long. So it's very manageable. But I'm here in Borneo now. We arrived in Kota Kinabalu. I've checked in at Marriott and I'm just going to stay here for the next 3 days. Luckily for you guys, I got one night of herping planned. I'm meeting up my friend Jeremy, who runs Kio Onsoy Herping, kind of a new, I don't know how to describe it, sort of eco tour thing around here. And he's going to take me to their site and we're going to look for some snakes. But it is very rainy. You saw that first clip. It is December in tropical Sunda, Southeast Asia. But we're going to get out anyway. I've got a rain jacket and see what we can find. I'm just going to grab some food while I wait for Boss Man to come pick me up. Then we'll head out. All right, here we go. Gearing up to head out. I think Jeremy's about to pull up outside. I got my Expedition Malaysia t-shirt some guests gave me on a previous Borneo trip. Let's see what shows up. All right, so we've just arrived at the spot. The guys drove us out of town and we are here. Let's get into the jungle. As expected, the water levels are very high, so could be difficult to turn stuff up and walk tonight. But hey, we'll give it a shot. First amphibian, second we get on the trail, little Ansonia spinellifer. This like very warty little Ansonia, which is quite common in these kind of like lower elevation forests in Borneo, but always nice to see. Here's our first reptile of the walk. It's a nice Gonocephalus borneensis here. Young female, I believe. You can get up nice and close with her. Just perched on this vine, standalone vine here. So we were hiking in the jungle and we just got out, completely skunked on snakes. We decided to take a look down the road and look what I spotted in the bushes here. Ooh, look at that! Look at that! Freaking beautiful, huge, golden yellow morph Tropidolaemus subannulatus. Borneo keeled pit viper, which by the way, was my #1 target for tonight, #1 target for this area. Like, this area is not just on the edge of town. There isn't many crazy species here. So this is, in my opinion, the best. And you know, guys, I love Tropidolaemus. It's literally like my favorite genus. And adult females of these, I just haven't seen enough. And this is absolutely 100% what I was hoping for the most. And it's not at the top of the tree. It's what looks like quite a gravid female, just low down in the bushes. What a freaking beauty, man. Okay, the executive decision amongst us is because it's in such a nice place, we're actually going to leave it in situ. Because I'm low-key hoping when I bring the tour group back here at the end of the trip that we might be able to see her again. Obviously, if I touch her, there's still a very high chance she'll be in the same spot. But in my experience, I just feel like it's safer not to touch her at all. And then we can get the best look possible.
but damn, she is so beautiful. I came around to the other side. I didn't realize I had such a good look from this side. This has got to be like the most yellow one I've ever seen. It's an absolute stunner. Like, what a good find. If this is the only snake we see tonight, I'm so happy. I'm going to grab some in-situ photos because, like I said, the place is perfect. But let's just bask in the beauty of this snake. This has got to be one of my favorite snakes in the whole world, especially in this color morph. It's just ridiculous. What a pleasure, man. Absolute jewel. All right, beautiful girl. It's time to say goodbye to you. You're an absolute star. You've lit up our night. Nothing else can compare. I mean, not that we saw anything else, but, you know, it would have to be a freaking Kinabalu crate or King Cobra to compare with this for me. Freaking amazing. Where have the guys gone? They're pretty stoked. I'm more stoked than them. This is just like one of my favorite snakes of all. Let me just adjust her plants back. Oh, they're fine. Our sub was just a couple meters up the road, the female, and now it's a little bit further down. We got a tiny little juvenile male that's ambushing on a pipe in a drainage ditch, which is quite a cool anthropomorphized in situ here. Look at him. They're so green when they're this size. They're almost a green bean. Got a nice little red stripe on the face, the little spots across, little white tippy tail as well. That's a cute little snake there. We're gonna leave this one in situ for sure. Damn, we should have just walked the roadside all along. Check it out, another adult female sub in the bushes there. The same morph as the last one, in fact, just well, like maybe a 1/4 smaller. But we can see from here exactly the same coloration and pattern with the yellow and the kind of faint teal colored bands and stripes on the face. We're definitely not gonna mess with this one, just gonna look at it from afar. I don't even know if I can, yeah, it's pretty difficult for me to even get close to this one because I'm like on the edge of a drop. Let's see how good we can see it there. You guys can make out that blue stripe, unmistakable coloration of one of the goat snakes in the area. Damn, 2 of them? It's my lucky day. All right, this is just getting silly now. We were just heading back to the car to wrap up, and we've got a third female sub here, phenotypically identical to the other 2, but this one even lower to the ground. Have you ever seen a female ambushing at the ground? Like, not against another plant, not up in a tree, but ambushing facing against the floor? Maybe you have, but it's certainly a first for me. Yeah, the exact same phase. Obviously the largest one we saw had the most mature like yellows. This one is still like losing kind of greenish coloration it would have had as a sub-adult, but it's still incredibly nice. Hopefully I can get around and take a look at the face, but again, we're kind of running the no disturbance meta tonight, so we can see what that allows us, how much visibility. Not exactly the best habitat here. I've just walked into someone's garden and you can see Mrs. Sub hanging out down there. Yeah, she's not small. I think the fact that she's like kind of skinny compared to that obese female, the beautiful one we took a look at first, is contributing to me feeling like she's small, but lengthwise, actually there's not that much difference between them. I guess this one didn't mate this year. She's still hunting. Yeah, no, she is smaller. Okay, I'm gonna be honest. This one's just more stretched out. I'm going back and forth on myself here, but damn, I didn't expect this to turn into a freaking sub explosion. The Keon Soy party. All right, guys, that's it. It's been quite an interesting video, hasn't it? Maybe one of the first times ever we did 2 countries in one video. So let me know which snake you prefer, the insane microendemic pit viper in Vietnam or the classic big girl here in Borneo. But tomorrow, guys, we're starting a new expedition here in Borneo. It's going to be 10 days. Of course, I'll be vlogging the whole way, so expect some certified bangers coming soon. And of course, thank you for tuning in. I'll catch you later.